It's a little different this year having two veteran kickers in camp, right?
Yes, yeah, it is. It's been good to see those guys battling back and forth, and it's been a really tight competition. So, they're both doing a really nice job, and it's neck and neck so far, and we'll see what happens as we get through the mandatory mini camp, and then you get into training camp, and of course what matters is the games in the preseason, and that's what's going to determine who we keep and who we don't. They've both been doing a really nice job. Both have adjusted really well. So our line's come in and fits right into our room and has done a fantastic job so far. And Eddie's really improved his rise and things that I asked him to do. And so it's going to be a heck of a competition.
Zerline, how's he look health-wise after the back surgeries that he's gone through? And you're only his second special teams coordinator in an 11-year career, which I imagine is kind of unusual. So how have you guys kind of hit it off?
Oh, it's been good. And like I said, he's I think first question, I think his back's fine. I don't see any issues that he's had since he's been here. He's been great in the room, done everything I asked him to do. He's a pleasure to be around. I think that whoever we end up keeping, I think we're in pretty good shape, to be honest with you. And we'll see how they do as we progress here.
Is that competition, is that just dead even, or does Eddie have an advantage because he's the incumbent?
No, I think when we create competition, it's for the job, and I don't think anybody has a leg up on anybody as of right now. They have, I don't know what the percentages are. I haven't looked at it in a week or so, but I would say it's within a few kicks difference. I don't think there's any front runner as of right now.
The way the draft shook out for the team, Joe made some moves, obviously for reasons, in offense and defense. Ended up you didn't have any picks after the fourth round, which is sometimes where you find your guys that are going to play teams. Has that made it any more difficult of trying to find new pieces for your different teams? Well,
I think so, but we've also added some veteran guys like Jacob Martin and Uzama and Conklin and those guys that I think will help. We did lose Griff and we did lose Dan and stuff like that, but we've still got Hardy and Delshon and Nazrul Dean and hopefully. Sherwood comes back and he gets healthy and stuff like that. So I think it's we'll have to see where it goes from here. I have high expectations for the group, as I always do. But we just got to play really, really well and give us a chance to win, and that's what it comes down to. Hopefully we can keep our return game going. Hopefully we can convert field goals and we get the field position needed for the young quarterback and help this team win some football games, and that's what matters. That's what it all comes down to.
Do you see Berrios being the return guy, like full time? Punts, kicks.
Absolutely, yeah. I think he's proven that he can do both, and it all depends on. Sometimes we use a two returner set on kickoff return. It all mattered. That has nothing to do with him or who I want to see or anything like that. It's just a matter of how teams, I think teams are going to play or what returns I want to run or anything like that. It switches up every week.
Now, obviously you're set with Berrios at both spots, but you guys had Calvin Jackson in rookie camp. We should get Calvin Johnson. Calvin Jackson in rookie camp, returning punts. Is he a guy with some special teams ability? Do you have any say in kind of like, hey, maybe we should sign this guy?
I think the kid certainly showed. I'll tell you, when you're old is when you played with his dad, and I played with his dad my rookie year. So he's a heck of a kid, and he's done a really nice job. And, there's a bunch of guys back there catching every day, and we'll see. And it's just like any other position. You see what happens in mini camp, and you see what happens in the preseason, and what really matters is the games and how they do.
I'm actually writing about him and his dad. What do you remember about his dad?
His dad was a fantastic kid. Worked his butt off, and he was an awesome teammate, and had nothing but great things to say about his dad. He was an awesome guy.
With the kicking competition, how risky is it to factor in the kicks here too heavily, considering you guys don't play here? Because I think there was a competition here in the last couple of years that was based on kicking here, and then the guy went in the game and he struggled a little bit.
I don't know what you're referring to, but are you
from Pittsburgh? Are
you asking like what's the difference in him kicking
hard
in?
to gauge how they'll do in the stadium with them kicking here since the wind and things are different?
Well, I study that stuff quite a bit, and he's done really well in this stadium. I forget what the exact, that's all the stuff that we put together when we go try to sign these guys is, hey, how does he, it's one of the first things I would look at is if he's kicking in an indoor deal, and how many times has he come out here and played the Giants because he was in their division and stuff like that, and what did he convert on their kick rate, so that's one of the things I looked at pretty heavily, and he was fine.
With Braden, last year, his team kind of got derailed, with the injury early on. What's the next step for him in year 3?
I think you're going to see some pretty big improvement from Braden. I think he, that you're definitely right. I think, when you're out 8 games and you come back with a knee brace on and everything like that, and you're not used to punting and stuff for weeks at a time, and you're playing, I think, 2 or 3 of those games that he did come back, he had his knee brace on, and finally he got it taken off, and I think you've seen in the last 3 or 4 games he punted a lot better, and I think I have high hopes for Braden. I think he's got as much talent as anybody in the league. I really do. And it's just a matter of him putting it together, and hopefully we'll do a hell of a lot better protecting him this year. And we got to be more physical up front and not let that happen.
With Braden, how much did the brace affect him? What things might have impacted him in terms of his kicking when he had to wear a brace?
Well, I think it's all about confidence. It's anytime you have something that you're not used to wearing, and you have some big bulky knee brace on, whatever position you're at, especially that position, it's going to make a big difference in how you perform. And the confidence level of what are you 100% healthy, or are you 90% healthy, or and that, I think that all comes into it. I really do.
Impact the plant or any of the planting that goes?
I obviously, yeah. I think with anytime he has it on his plant leg or he's kicking like that, his knees are so close together. Sometimes that would rub on the brace. So he did a heck of a job fighting through it. Really improved, and so, like I said, I think I have high hopes for him this year.
Do you still like him in kickoffs, or would the kickers be fine?
We'll see where it takes us, but those other 2 guys are both healthy and both have really good kickoff legs. So, I thought Braden did a heck of a job kicking off last year, and we'll see what happens.
You guys obviously had a revolving door last year, and a lot of those guys were young. So with the new guys coming in who have experience on special teams, how much does that kind of help you try to assimilate the new pieces and bring this all together?
It's always, it all depends on who we keep and who we don't keep, right? And so you always try to mix and match and change positions so people have flex playing, rotate from guard to center, guard to tackle to slot. If the more guys can do, the more flex they have, is the more valuable they are to us as special teams guys. And obviously you like the guys that can play all 4 phases, and we've got some really good guys that are proven guys here, and hopefully with this addition with the new guys, I think that I'm not going to put any expectations out there, but I have high expectations for this group. I really do, just like I do every year.
Brant, just a big picture question. You've been here longer than any other player, any other coach in this building now. How do you feel about where this team is at in terms of turning the corner from these losing seasons that you've experienced and getting things right?
That's a really good question. I think that this team is on the rise. Again, I'm not going to put any expectations out there, but I think there is more competition at every spot than I've seen here since I've been here. I think Joe and the upstairs have done a fantastic job of bringing in more talent, and I think they're going to be well coached across the board. So I think that the sky's the limit for this team. I think that I think that will surprise some people as far as how physical this group's going to play. I think that we're faster. I think we're bigger. And I have high expectations. I think we'll win some games this year, and I really do. And that's just kind of how I feel about it,
How did Justin Hardy grade out last year?
Awesome. I mean, he's top 3 in the league, and in what he does, and you know, I think he's got, there's some improvements that everybody can make, and we're working on the things that he needs to work on. But as far as a difference maker that you have to game plan around, that's a guy that you have to defend on every rep, and if not, he's gonna win, and that's the first thing you do as an opposing coach, is try to game plan for guys like him. I think he's top 3 in the league overall special teamers, and you know, he's a leader in our room, obviously being a captain, and I think you know, I don't see why he would do anything else but do what he did last year for us.
The last one.
Brant, I'm sure you study this, but like the number of penalties on kicks now in the NFL across the board seems so high. What do you do during this time of year and training camp to try to make sure your units, you know, don't commit those penalties?
Well, I think, number one, we committed way too many last year, and it wasn't acceptable. And you teach fundamentals over and over and over again, and you know, you show all those penalties in the room, and you can't show them enough. And you teach them that if they're doing that in drills and stuff like that, that's what we called. And so we really try to, you know, obviously stress the importance of field position, and 10 or 15 yards is the difference between 7 and 8, 10%, depending on where you are on the field, as far as score percentage for the offense, or, you know, stuff like that. So it's a huge deal for us, and that's something we need to make a big improvement on this year for sure.